successfully adjust the play on your wheel bearings. You'll need a 1/2 inch drive short extension, a 1/2 inch drive 17mm deep socket, you'll need a 3/8 inch drive long ball hex bit socket, a crescent wrench, a 3/8 inch drive ratchet, a 1/2 inch drive ratchet, you'll need a 3/8 inch drive torque wrench that can go up to 11 Newton meters, and you'll need a 1/2 inch drive torque wrench that can go up to 150 Newton meters. You'll also need a mallet and some type of pry bar. The tape is optional, it's just for a little bit more protection. And with all these tools, let's get started. Okay, you'll also need a hydraulic jack that can support 2.5 tons, a pair of jack stands, and some wood that's around 2.5 to 3 inches high. Use an extra piece of wood to chock the rear tires. Take your jack and slide it under your jack mount, which is located 13 inches behind the front tire, then lift the car. Once the wheel is off the ground, slide your wood under the tire and lower the car onto the wood. Okay, now that we have our wheel on our wood, we can loosen the wheel bolts, and then once we have our wheel bolts loosened, then we can raise the car and then remove the wheel. So let's loosen our wheel bolts. We'll take our 17mm socket and we'll just loosen the bolts. After we have loosened our wheel bolts, we can lift the car from the front jack mount. Slide your jack under the front end of the car and raise the car from the front jack mount. Once we have our car raised, we can slide our jack stands under the jack mounts. Place your jack stands onto both passenger and driver side mounts, then lower the car. Okay, now that we have our wheel off the ground and our bolts are loosened, we can go ahead and remove our bolts and then remove our wheel. So we can just take our extension with the deep socket, 17mm, and just go ahead and loosen the bolts with our hands, just like this. And then once we have our bolts removed, then we can go ahead and remove the wheel. Now that we have all our bolts removed, we'll just grab the wheel from the upper part, and then we'll just pick it up and pull it out. And then we can sit our wheel off to the side. Place your hands at the 12 and 6 o'clock positions on the brake rotor, then firmly grip the rotor and move it back and forth, checking for bearing play. You can also do this while the wheel is on the car. Next, take your pry bar and remove the wheel bearing cap. As you rotate the cap, apply a small amount of pressure until the cap comes off. After your cap has been removed, install one of the wheel bolts opposite to the screw that holds your brake rotor in place. You'll want to tighten the wheel bolt firmly in place. This will give you an accurate measurement to whether your wheel bearings are loose or not. Now that we have our rotor secure, loosen the 5mm hex bolt with your 5mm hex bit. Tighten the clamp with your crescent wrench in very small increments. The total tolerance of adjustment is 0.01 to 0.02 millimeters. Once you have made the adjustment, check the play again and adjust if necessary. You can see here that the wheel bearing is still out of tolerance, requiring me to make another adjustment. Once you're done, torque your 5mm bolt to 11 Newton meters. After this, install your bearing cap and remove the wheel bolt from your rotor. Then lower your car back onto the wood and pump your brakes a few times to set the pads. Okay, now that we have our wheel back on our wood, we can go ahead and torque down the wheel bolts We've already threaded them into the rotor, so now we just have to take our torque wrench and set it to 150 Newton meters, and then we're gonna torque down our bolts in a star pattern. So we can pick any bolt that we want first, and then we'll just tighten that bolt down, and then we'll go directly across, tighten the other bolt, and we'll go across from that bolt, tighten that bolt, and then across, tighten that bolt, and then lastly, we'll finish up with the last bolt, and then after that, we'll go in a circular pattern to just double check to make sure that all the bolts are tightened. And then once we have all our bolts tightened, we can roll off the wood and we're good to go.